Look, it's Kyle!
It's me, I'm Kyle.
This is Kyle.
Hi.
Kyle's my husband.
I'm sorry, my voice is weird. I have allergies.
Yeah, we've got bad allergies, but we are driving to visit Kyle's family out of state. And so, because we are stuck in the car together for a long time, I figured we could talk a little bit about... What's wrong?
Stuck in the car together? I love you. I like being in the car with you.
I figured this would be a good time to film a quick little video about what led us to adoption.
We're adopting.
We're adopting.
I didn't know
We're adopting. Surprise!
that. Wait. I don't keep recording just in case, but like, when are you posting this?
I don't know yet.
Can like we say what the picture you took this morning was?
No,
in this
not
video?
yet.
We can't say that.
No,
Okay.
not yet. No. Okay, so where should we begin?
The beginning of it is your story, so wherever you want. I came in
okay.
much later in life.
So Kyle just reminded me that our story kind of starts with me, and it starts with me as a very young person. I was 19 years old when I decided that I wanted to adopt a person with Down syndrome. I've always known I wanted to adopt, which you've also felt, right? But I was doing some research on Down syndrome and actually stumbled on the National Down Syndrome Adoption Network. And so when I learned that people adopted children with Down syndrome, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing that. And Kyle, when did I share that information with you?
Second date.
Our second date. Our second date, I said to Kyle, I think it actually came up like you said, I've always wanted to adopt. And I said, yeah, because we were talking about having kids on our second date. And I said, I always have two. I've always wanted to adopt a child with Down syndrome. And what was your response?
Okay.
He was like, that's cool. And you like cheekily said, you were like, I'm in. So then flash forward to this summer when I'm at the same zoo. I'm standing there and I'm seeing grown-up Baji. So it's the same orangutan. He's old, he's got the big moon face, he's had a couple kids, he's living a good life. And I'm there with some friends of mine, and we're standing there and I'm watching Baji and I'm watching a baby orangutan play. Like chase a squirrel, we're having a great time. I'm with two of my best friends, it's a great day. I'm standing like up against a wall. So it's like there's this tiny space between me and the wall, and then a ton of room on the other side where my friends were. And a dad in a stroller pull up next to me at the zoo, at this same spot that I was at when I was 7, looking at the exact same orangutan. It was a dad, and he pulled up at the stroller, and I hear the dad go to whoever was in the stroller, do you see the monkey? Do you see the monkey? And I hear her say, no, I don't. And me being a teacher and a kid person, like leaned over to be like, the monkey's right up there, do you see it? And I look down, and there's this like 4-year-old girl, I would say maybe, with Down syndrome. And she points to the monkey and says, monkey. And it was like I got slapped in the face. I think I texted you immediately and was like, hey, let's do this.
Okay.
Would you agree?
I don't remember getting a text about that. I remember us talking about it that night.
Oh, maybe I did that. So I literally texted Kyle, or we talked about it that night. Whatever we did, it happened pretty quickly.
Taylor is a big proponent and a big believer in signs, and I don't believe in signs whatsoever. I believe that things are always around you, and they are always present, and it's just whatever your heart and your soul and your mind are open to at the time, you will begin to notice them and see them. And it's when you're open and ready for things to come into your life is when you allow them into your consciousness. And so that very clearly was something that she was ready to receive that day by seeing that and being open to realize that, no, I think it is a sign, and that it's a reason to kind of do what we decided to do moving forward. So I guess the next step, we are pretty, because of our, I guess, avocation and vocations, we both do outreach with children with Down syndrome. And so we are very well connected with the community in our area. So we specifically reached out to one of the heads of an organization to say, hey, this is what we are thinking about doing. We would like to talk to you just about the process, get some ideas that you may have, things that we may not be thinking about, And we went, and we expected to have a nice little 30 minute to an hour conversation with her. We ended up staying in her house, I think, for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
She gave us a bunch of books. We had a very amazing conversation. And she said the words, you could have a child by Christmas. And what's funny is that at that time, both Taylor and I were like,
no,
I don't think
too soon.
we're ready for that. And to see how things have shifted just in our journey since then, I'd be okay with a placement tomorrow.
Which is Christmas Eve.
That's hilarious. And then she also said these words that will always ring true. And I think I just said it the other day, and somebody was like, "Oh, you're right." But people have this fear of not only Down syndrome, but even like autism or any kind of different ability, or even if you break it down to physical ability, where they think it's so different from everyone else. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we are all more alike than different, is what she said. And that is something that rang really true to me, that we are more alike than different.
Yeah.
And it's really just a matter of helping other people see that through, I wouldn't call it ministry, but we've kind of taken it upon ourselves to want to bring it more to the forefront and raise awareness to things like this.
Yeah, I agree. Nice. So I think ultimately the path that led us to adoption wasn't like, there was no big event that led us to that. It's just always something we've wanted to do.
Baji was a pretty big event.
The orangutan thing was a big deal, but a lot of people, our story isn't coming from...
There was no lightning bolt that said we want to adopt.
No.
It's something that we've always... Here's the thing. Taylor's going to tell you a story here in a little bit, and I'm going to tell you something right now. When I was 2 years old, my parents were divorced, so I've spent my entire life with what I would consider like alternative parenting.
Your step-parents.
With two amazing step-parents who helped me become not only the person that I am right now, but hopefully the father and parent that I will be.
You love.
And I absolutely love them.
And did it ever feel different to you?
No.
Like, did they feel less of your parents?
No, not at all. And so I've always known from, I wouldn't say childhood, but from a young age, that I wanted to be in a position where I could alternatively parent. In my mind, that was to be a stepfather, obviously. I married a woman who's 8 years younger than I am and does not have previous children, so that's not going to happen.
No.
So the first time she told me she wanted to adopt, I said, okay, because it was already on my radar of things that I wanted to do.
Yep. And my desire to adopt came from when I was even littler than Baji happened first. So when Hurricane Katrina hit, my parents sat my brother and I down and they said, we would like to foster and we would like to help one of the kids who lost their families in Hurricane Katrina. Are you guys okay with that? And I said no. And I said no because my brother and I grew up very close. He's always been my best friend. And they were gonna foster a boy because my brother had bunk beds, and so they had the room. And I was like, no, because someone's gonna steal Jeffrey, and he's my best friend, and I'm not sharing my brother. And so, I was young, so I don't blame myself for that or anything. But like, I recognize now as an adult, like I had a tremendous life growing up, and I had the choice to welcome somebody else into my tremendous life and to share that life with them, and I said no. And I don't blame kid Taylor for what she said because she was a kid, but it really made me go like, oh, we have so much to share, we have so much to give, we have so much love to have, we love people with Down syndrome, and we welcome any of the scary parts of it so much that like it's almost hard to explain what led us to adoption, just because like it's like it's always what we've pictured our family looking like. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah.
That like it's always in our minds,
which ultimately was what led us to, I don't know how much of the journey you've shared with them so far because you won't let me watch the videos, but we initially were looking at fostering, and that's something I'm still very open to.
Oh, me too.
But we've just kind of decided at this point, with our specific desires of what we want to begin our family with, adoption is the clear choice. just because of the intricacies and the amount of children that go through any state's adoptive service per year, it's kind of hard to put yourself in a situation where you're limited to just fostering in order to get a child who has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And so this way we can open ourselves up to an entire national network and find a child who, well, not even just a child, but a mother and father, like a family,
everybody
in need
of love,
of
really
care that they don't feel either they're capable of providing or that they are nervous they aren't enough for, like whatever reason that someone would want to place their child, we want to be able to help complete that journey for them.
So that's kind of that, I think.
I was pretty short and sweet, yeah.
Did we miss anything?
No.
I mean,
I baked you a cake on that.
We'll do it.
Oh, that was the first date.
That was the first date. So that's,
Here's nice.
thank you. That's what led us to adoption. And I hope we have exciting news to
It's
share
funny to say
soon.
that's what led us to adoption, because nothing led us there.
Yeah.
We just knew.
So that's kind of that.
It's our journey towards
This.
the end game of the adoption.
Mm-hmm. That's very exciting and hopefully happening very soon.
It's nice to meet you all.
I don't know that anybody's watching this, Kyle.
That's
to be
okay, but
very
I got a
honest.
haircut. Doesn't it look nice?
All right, well, I think that's good for today.
Do we have like a catchphrase, a slogan for signing off?
No, we're not cool. No.
No?
No.
What
The
about
answer is
this
no.
one?
No.
Catch you on the flip side.
All right, bye.